And also the, I guess it's the international office now, Beta Alpha Psi has come up with what they call Beta Alpha Psi Connect, BAP Connect. And I'm going to let Gabby talk just a little bit about that. She's our social media chair for those of you who don't know her. She's kind of taken a look at it. And so, Gabby, you wanted to say a few words in regards to that?
I guess I'll put on email or post on Facebook or link to the website. That's really easy. You just have to have a picture of your email address, and you can find our group, which is when you search Holman University, it's kind of group for Holman University, it's for Beta Alpha Psi users. You don't have to add anybody. Once you're in the network, you're
you might have to yell.
Once you're signed up, you just look up Holman University and you join the group. And then once you're on the website, you're connected to all the Beta Alpha Psi members on the website. You can chat with them. You can look at their profiles. You can look at all the other groups. You don't have to join or add or anything like that. Just open to everybody. You're connected to everyone. So that's another link for that.
Yeah, it's basically like Facebook for Beta Alpha Psi. So we'll give you the opportunity to make other connections with folks around the country, around the world, because we do have Beta Alpha Psi chapters in other countries as well. If you sign up for it, you do get a non-meeting professional point, because it is a networking opportunity. You do not have to sign up for it by any means, but you do get a non-meeting professional point for making a profile on it. So Gabby will send that information out later on. All right, does anybody have any questions in regards to any of the announcements, emails that have been going around, anything like that before we introduce our speaker? All right, well, Matt will introduce our speakers for today.
All right, well, I have the pleasure today to introduce Mr. Frank Holman. He is a native New Yorker, and he started out in public accounting, and then was able to find his way into financial controllership in a few different companies in the New York area. He started out with Forbes, then went on to Time Warner Cable, worked there for a while, and found his way to Cox Communications here in the Hampton Roads, and worked as the Vice President of Business Operations for Cox. He's done that up until recently, and additionally, he's been working as an adjunct professor here. And then, most recently, he is now working as the Chief Financial Officer for Vector CSP, which is a defense contractor with the Coast Guard. And it is my honor and privilege today to have him come speak to us about various career planning and professional development issues.
My agent, Mr. Richards, represents me better than I was going to represent myself. I have notes. I have no slides, and I have a lot of philosophy. I hope this is going to be practical and useful to you guys. First of all, I'm glad to be here. I've been an adjunct here since 2009. I'm really disappointed, because I teach fundamentals. I'm disappointed that I have one former student and one friend in this audience. So none of the fundamentals of me for the last 3 years have even made it this far, inspiring me professionally. Don't tell Dr. Ziegenfuss that. Please, don't tell him. But I'm reflecting on my career. I thought that sharing my journey with you guys may be very helpful as you begin your journeys. So let me tell you, it's around this time in 1980. That's it. Don't say anything. You weren't born yet. You were born? Thank you. That's sorry, or I know it. The rest of you, you weren't born. In 1980, I was a senior at Brooklyn College. I was an honors student, such as yourself, probably. And I had no one to guide me in what I was going to do. I had no idea. I grew up in Coney Island. My accent betrays me, but I am a native New Yorker. I'm a Brooklyn boy. I grew up in a housing project in Coney Island with no professionals in my family, no guidance whatsoever. I knew I needed a job. I worked at my father's shop, where he was cutting wood for a shop of 150 people for $2.50 an hour. I worked there. I spent my evenings with him at the table, pulling splinters out of my hands. I dislocated both of my thumbs, tore a shoulder muscle, got injured on the job 5 other times. and learn I want to be an accountant. I didn't understand what it was about, though. And now, 32 years later, I think I can give you an idea of what it's about. So there's three things I want to talk about today. One, career plan. Two, your professional development. Your professional development can be done here, but your professional development continues. 32 years later, I still get professional development. I still work very hard at being a professional. It's beyond being an accountant. At a certain point in your life, you make other decisions. And the last thing, Matt had asked me to talk about academia versus practice. For those of you considering academic careers, I can tell you personally, I found it very challenging. I find it incredibly rewarding to be an academic. And to be perceived as an academic, to be as an adjunct. It's a big responsibility. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that for those of you considering those careers. So career planning. You're uniquely positioned as accounting majors, especially if you're among the top accounting majors in this university. You're at a great school, an accredited school, one of only 8 in the state of Virginia, accredited by the Association that accredits accounting, people, the Association of Advanced Collegiate Schools of Business. Actually, I'm a graduate of that program, so I'll talk about that in the academic part. But not every college in this country is certified under that guideline. They are the guidelines. They get audited. Dr. Z, I can call him that. I have a feeling you may call him something else, but I call him Dr. Z. And Dr. Z, I know works on the board and works auditing other colleges and institutions that are trying to achieve that. So you're in a good school with a great reputation and hopefully doing really well. So now, as you get this degree, you have a tremendous world, a three-dimensional world of opportunities in front of you. Unlike most majors, you actually can go a number of different paths, all of them successful. One thing about accounting is, if you choose the right field, you are going to be compensated fairly well for having no experience. And that's pretty good, because in most walks of life, you have to put in a very low-paying apprenticeship to learn. But getting your degree, achieving, and getting a job in a public accounting firm, for argument's sake, can lead you down the path of a very good beginning for your career. So, as Matt said, my career began in public accounting. I thought that was a good place to go. I'll tell you my why and why nots on public accounting. Started out as an office boy for an accounting firm because I wanted to get a flavor. Remember, I was trying to leave the wood shop. I'm trying to get a flavor of what the accounting profession looked like, and I did. I went to this accounting firm. I was their office boy. I was the person who ran the financial statements on a printer. Okay? I'm talking about typewriters and printers and comptometers at one point. Remember comptometers? You had to be like 8 machine to play that thing. It wasn't an adding machine. You had to play 9 keys at the same time. It was an incredible thing. But I was there when I used to run off their reports, and I would proofread them, and then deliver them to clients. I was a one-stop shop. And I got to see the accounting profession. And what I learned immediately from a public accounting firm is, I'm not sure I want to be here forever. But I went into the file room, and I saw the clients. We had manufacturers, we had schools, we had brokerage houses, we had limited financial institutions, we had service companies. I went into this file room and I found the files of all these different companies. And my job as a public accountant would be, I would have an opportunity to audit